What if there was one thing, one tiny little thing that was stopping you from getting the life you want, from feeling happier, healthier, calmer with your kids, more relaxed, losing the weight you want? What if there was one tiny little thing that was causing all these little niggling health issues that have been plaguing or frustrating you over the last few years? What if there was one thing you could do to change that would help you be your best self? Now, Jen is going to tell you a little bit about our story, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about what this one thing is, which you probably guessed, and also how changing your relationship with it may just transform your life. Jen.
I grew up in beautiful Sweden under pretty good conditions. My family, we weren't rich, but we certainly didn't struggle. But I had a violent, narcissistic mom who did everything in her power to control me. And she did so with anger and fear. My dad, he was a hardworking man, but he also did his best to escape my mom's wrath. But in doing so, he failed to be the protector that I needed. I was told there was something wrong with me. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't worthy. I was really good at sports. Any sport I did, I was great at it. Football, horses, athletics, and I wanted to be an athlete. My mom didn't agree. I should aim to do other things. So she entered me in modeling competitions and beauty pageants, because there at least I had a future. Fast forward a couple of years, and I just knew that I had to get out from my childhood home. And I made the decision. That brought me to Milano, fashion capital of the world, and I started working as a model. Now, Milano is the kind of place where bar owners, club owners, they are very happy to push free alcohol pretty people's way in order to make their venues look good. I relished in this. People wanted me somewhere. I was appreciated, and there was gratitude. These are things that I'd never felt before, but I relished in it. And yes, it was for my looks, but I didn't care because I felt these feelings that I hadn't felt before. Well, here I was, pretty, drinking, sad, anxious, and lonely. So fast forward to meeting Ru in London, where I come to work as a model. And like me, Ru was a country boy. He'd come down from the Isle of Mull to work as an oil broker. A pretty good job and a big job. But with this job came certain expectations. And those expectations were to wine and dine and entertain your clients, going out a lot. This is very difficult in our relationship, and Ru was the kind of last person standing, must be the last one to go, because it simply was within his job description. So it created a lot of friction within our relationship, not to mention his health issues. Our lives were pretty tumultuous together, but we weren't not normal. Everyone was doing what we were doing in London. Everyone's partying, right? Everyone is what you do. It's all the rage, and we just did what everyone else was doing. But whenever there would be a problem within our relationship, we'd each point an accusing finger at each other, like, you have a problem with this, you have a problem with that. Then a big change came for me. When we fell pregnant with our first daughter, Tilly, I've been torturing my body with alcohol and malnutrition for years. And here, my body was gifting me with this incredible, perfect little creature growing inside of me. I was blown away. My body, you still do that for me? He wasn't as enlightened. And he actually kicked up his partying a notch. He started going out more and found more reasons to celebrate. He's gonna be a dad, and it just wouldn't stop. And that continued on until after I gave birth. And it was confusing. So one day, it was after one night out of coming back from work and entertaining. This was 5 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, I might add. And he kind of comes into the bedroom. And there I am feeding our daughter, and he's dousing us with the aromas of the night before. Kisses me on the forehead, my baby on the forehead, and waddles into bedroom, spare bedroom, to get his much needed rest. I'd have enough at this point. I was struggling with breastfeeding. I was struggling with postpartum depression. This is not what I'd signed up for. So I got up and booked myself a ticket, and our daughter, of course, a ticket, and I went to Sweden. That was enough for me. Obviously, we're still here today, so we worked things out. But we went on this self-discovery journey, and when doing this, he also booked into an anger management course because he wanted to understand the friction within our marriage. Why was I so angry? You know, he's going to go and find this out. And he quickly learned that alcohol and caffeine are two of the biggest culprits when it comes to triggering anger. So this and a couple of other discoveries later, Ruari decided to go on a non-drinking journey himself. He's not going to drink for 3 months. And one thing led to the other, and eventually this led to the creation of OYNB Beer. I, on the other hand, did not feel the need to join in on this because I'd done 2 pregnancies not drinking. I know it's beneficial. Just because he's figuring out finally doesn't mean I should have to give up my mummy time wine, you know, when the kids go to bed. That's where I need my treat. I needed my fix. I needed my reward. But this also fed my anxiety even further. But I was watching the OYNB Beer community grow. People were writing in handwritten letters saying, you have transformed my life. You have transformed my mother. You have transformed my father. You've changed our family's path. I'd done years of therapy for various reasons that we do therapy, but after a 4-day Tony Robbins seminar in London, I came out with a mission and a couple of realizations. 1, I am my own person. My past, whatever it may be, does not define me. I am in charge of my future, and only I can change that. And 2, alcohol was crippling me. It was feeding my anxiety, making me completely unable to do anything positive towards my future. So I decided to try the OYNB program. Let's see. You know, we don't like to do what our partners tells us what to do, but I was like, fine, I'll check this out because it seemed to be working for so many other people. So I signed up to do the OYNB program. I started meditating. I started journaling, something I hadn't done since I was a teenager, writing my diary. And I set some goals. I set some athletic goals, and I'd made a decision. I wanted to be a better person for me, not for anyone else. And that's kind of where the magic happened. So furthermore, at the ripe age of 40, I can now also call myself an athlete. I have a fellow athlete here with me today. I now compete both nationally and internationally in Spartan racing, which is, if you don't know what it is, it's obstacle course racing. Yes, I jump over fire. I do crazy stuff like that. And that's something I threw myself into. I felt the courage that I wanted to go in and do this, and I'm now doing that. And I love it so much. So for me, this is a little bit of, you know, one thing leads to another, but in a way I see this as my life has done full circle. I'm now living my childhood dreams. I'm making them happen. I'm happy. I'm a better mom. I'm a better wife. I'm approaching it with a different method than I did before. I'm calmer, more collected. I'm doing it my way now, and that works.
What does this mean for you? Why should you stop drinking, right? I mean, why would you want to stop drinking? Why would anybody want to stop drinking? It's our only source of fun. It's our only source of success. It brings us happiness. It's how you get over the end of a long day and relax and unwind. What are you talking about? Why would I ever want to do that? Well, that's what we've been conditioned to believe. That's what we've been conditioned to believe since you were knee-high to a grasshopper watching aunties, uncles, friends, parents celebrate, commiserate, and congratulate with alcohol. It's hardwired into our society. We've been brainwashed. Now, imagine for a second that I'm Morpheus from the Matrix. Okay, you might not have to imagine too much. I'm Morpheus from the Matrix, and I'm standing in front of you right now, and you are Neo. And for a moment now, I'm going to take you on a little journey where we could just take the blue pill, and that means exiting out the door now and not listening to me, or we could take the red pill together, and I'm going to show you something that's going to shock you, because it's not what the real world tells you today, okay? So come on the journey with me. Let's take the red pill. What is the truth about alcohol? Well, I tell you what, Professor David Nutt wanted to publish the truth, and the government sacked him before he could publish it. They sacked him. His long research study showed, and he had to get private funding to publish this, that the world's most harmful drug is alcohol, both to those who take it and those around them. Wow. Have you ever actually Googled what is alcohol? Because now we're in the Google age. What is alcohol? It's a colorless, flammable, volatile liquid, also used as a solvent or fuel source, known as ethanol. Okay, now, have you ever heard somebody say, yeah, but a glass of wine a day is good for you, yeah? Have you ever heard somebody say, a couple of pints is healthy, it's good for your brain? Okay, let me just rephrase this question. Has there ever been a study where putting ethanol into the human body is good for you? Nope, there never has, and there never will be, because it is a poison. What they're talking about is the fractional, tiny pieces of ingredients used to mask the horrific taste of what alcohol or ethanol really is to make it palatable. And we can get 1,000 times more of that just by eating a normal, natural, healthy diet. Did you know that alcohol actually stops weight loss? So the liver, which is a phenomenal organ, has to process any poison in the body first before it can start getting around to processing things like fat from exercise and burning, right? So if you're running out there exercising but regularly drinking alcohol, your liver is working overtime trying to process this poison out of your body before it can do that weight loss. Not only that, but do you know how many calories are in a pint of beer? The same as a large slice of pizza, right? I could put away 10 of those in an afternoon. Pizza, of course. So, stop. I don't want to hear it, because we hear this all the time in the news, by the GP lambasted. Asparagus is giving me this. I'm walking on the street and I'm getting dementia from this. It's everywhere. We don't want to hear about the health things. And that's why at One Year No Beer, we only talk about the positives, about being better, fitter, faster, happier, more switched on, quicker, healthier, better with our parents, better with our relationships, all of the positives. So what are the positives? Well, we'll start with this. Professor Kevin Moore in 2015 did the largest ever study into a 4-week break from alcohol. So amongst the results were things like dramatic loss of cholesterol, weight loss, happiness, sleeping better. The effects were huge. And he said and published, if you could get these results from a pill, everybody would want it, right? One Year No Beer is that pill. The next biggest benefit, cost. They reckon on average people save £800 in their first month of not drinking alcohol. So Laurie, who signed up in 2016, got front page of the BBC when she bought a house with the money she saved by not drinking. And I asked the poll just yesterday into our group saying, how much do you save? Just because I wanted social proof. Most people are saving between 200 and 400, some 0 to 200, 400, 600, 600 to 800 pounds. Think about what you could do with that money. And what are some of the other benefits? Lynn. She became the first woman to kayak around the island she lives on. She bought a boat. She called it Chardonnay. I like it. We're all about puns at One Year No Beer. She bought that with the money she saved from drinking. Simon Tomlinson, he set up a video production business. He is now creating a documentary. He left his full-time job in the city, and he now does this passion, and he's starting a full-time documentary about being alcohol-free. Okay, so these are the huge, dramatic ones that are right out there, but we're talking about over 50,000 people in 90 countries who write in daily to the team. You've transformed my life. This is life-changing. I can't believe I didn't do this before. Look, I don't know what will change for you, but I guarantee you will change. Maybe you're sitting there and thinking, okay, I get it. I could give this a shot. I could get some of these benefits myself, right? So all we need to do is stop drinking, yeah? Dead easy. No. Let me tell you that there is a massive difference between just not drinking and changing your relationship with alcohol. Not drinking looks like this. You decide to do a month without booze, and maybe you do it when other people dry January, or maybe you do one of these dry Jan or sober October programs, something like that, right? And what you do is you cancel your diary, right? You avoid your entire social circle. You live like a hermit, and you white knuckle it all the way through. I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And then you cannot count down the milliseconds to the first of the next month so that you can go out and get absolutely arseholed again. Now, all this does is reaffirm the limiting belief that alcohol is something that you need, that you want. Alcohol is something that is required just to live life on a normal basis. And that is part of the brainwashing. What we've got to do is we've got to have a mindset shift where no willpower is required, where in reality you're saying, and you're seeing it for what it truly is. And that's what changing a relationship with alcohol is, and that's where we are the experts. Catherine, I'd done Dry January a couple of times before, but that seemed to be about sacrifice and denial, paradoxically giving alcohol a prize-like status, which didn't work for me. So here I am, 1 year no beer, 365 days alcohol-free. Drinking is just psychology, it's just habit. And we understand that there's a process in changing your relationship with alcohol. It's about implementing new healthy habits. So instead of using a drug at the end of the day to relax after a stressful day at work or with the kids, we'll show you ways to unwind without that. We'll show you strategies that actually mean you end the day a lot less frazzled and stressed and needing something to take the edge off. What about socially, going out and having fun and being less anxious? This is really funny. When people say they have social anxiety and they need alcohol just to step into the room, I'm like, this is where a drug is a drug. A drug begets itself. That's how a drug works. Once you start taking it, it facilitates the need for you to take it again and again and again, right? Alcohol is a depressant. It causes anxiety. Well, here we are using it to feel less anxious. So we need to show you tips and strategies in order to go out and be sociable, have an amazing time and get up in the morning and go, wow, I had all the fun, I really enjoyed it, and now I feel all this energy and I don't feel hungover and depressed the next day. One of the things that I absolutely guarantee everybody, myself included, Jen, everybody who signs up, that's over 50,000 people in 90 countries, I guarantee you, you have no idea what impact alcohol is having on your life. You have no idea. Because it whittles away, little by little, like this as a depressant, pushing you down, that you only realize when you remove it, and you bounce back up to the surface, to where you really are and should be. So in the program, what we do is we send you daily emails to start thinking about things differently, wrapped around with lots of support. The ultimate goal of changing your relationship with alcohol is if you can go a period of taking a break from booze and absolutely love it, then you've seen both sides of the story. That means that puts you back in the driving seat. Let me just say that this is not an abstinence-only program. We're not about not drinking. I still drink. I drink as much as I want whenever I want. And that's the power and the control that we want to give people. The reality is, when you remove it, you see it for what it is, and you only let it back in when you choose to. Keeping it positive. When we first looked at this, Andy, my co-founder, and I, we saw that everything about not drinking was stigmatized. When you say, I'm not drinking, people say, what? What's wrong with you? I didn't realize you had a problem. And if you looked at help and support, you had to go and admit that you were powerless to a disease. No, right? We are about all of the positives. This is simple. It's just a challenge. Anybody can do it. It's about being better, happier, fitter, faster. It's about being better in our community and with the people we inspire around us, like Jen was saying. One of the biggest factors in any behavior change is a thing that is innate to all of us, and it's called tribalism. You see, since way back when we were Neanderthals, some of us still are, we needed to belong to a tribe, and we still do. Now, if your tribe, which is our society, is always drinking and drinking regularly, and you try and change your relationship and step out the tribe, what happens? What's wrong with you? Why are you not drinking? Just have one, come on, come back to the tribe, please, come back. So for us to change our behavior, if we don't have a tribe to belong to while we're doing that, we will fall back into old ways. And that's what we created at 1 Year No Beer. A tribe of people who you can lean on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You just shoot a message in there and instantly you have hundreds of comments of support and encouragement. Now, you don't realize, but subconsciously in that moment, when you're at the bar, at the wedding, and the people are giving you that pressure, just how much of a powerful tool that is, because you're being triggered inside. The other really, really big part of this is something called connection. Now, Johann Hari did a fantastic TED talk called The Opposite of Addiction is Connection, and in it he talks about a piece of research called Rat Park. So before Rat Park, the scientists used to take a cage, stick a rat in it, put alcohol and water in the cage, or drugs, and the rat would try the water, and then it would try the alcohol, and it would try the alcohol again, and again, and again, and again, and again, until it killed itself. And they went, alcohol, really addictive. But then Bruce Alexander came along and said, this piece of research is not fair. So he built Rat Park. And Rat Park was a huge rat cage with lots of rats and lots of things to do, spinning wheels and stuff to do, engage, be sociable, connect. What happened? Well, the rats would try the water, and then they would try the alcohol, and they would never touch it again. This is what we are dealing with here. In our societies, we've lost connection. And this is what we are trying to bring back at 1 Year No Beer, allowing people to connect over a common goal. That common goal is to live life better. But what if you woke up and you felt a bit happier, a bit healthier, calmer, less anxious, less depressed, less frustrated? What happens if you woke up and you had lost some weight and some of those niggling health issues had just started to disappear, maybe those headaches or whatever it is? What if I'm right? Wouldn't it be worth finding that out? Our mission is to empower the world to transform the world's relationship with alcohol. That means you. So if you have already changed your relationship with alcohol, brilliant! Help us to inspire people to do the same and realize the same. If you haven't yet, then go and be a leader in your community, in your family, and inspire other people to do the same. Live by example, because we have an incredible opportunity here together to make a real impact on the world. Thank you.